Hi, NEM community around the world. I'm Alexis Trujillo, and this is the NEM Show. Well, we're having a very special guest in this episode of the NEM Show, and it's someone that you may know very well. I'll be talking to Mr. Long Wang. Long Wang is the CEO and founder also of Proxima X, and he's with us today. Welcome, Long, to the NEM Show.
Thank you, Alexis. Yeah, it's been a long time, 3 years at the least.
Yeah, it's a long time, and it's really great to have you here with us today. Long, well, we're at the verge of new times, and with new times, it's also good to make a little memory of the times before us in order for us to explain what's going on. And it's good to begin this interview speaking about back 2018.
Well, 2014.
Let's refresh that. Let's refresh that landscape, because we just got Catapult out. Yes. Okay, and it was NEM 2.0 on wheels. Okay, and by that time you said that your goal was keeping the ecosystem growing. And you started Proxima X and saying that this would increase the utility of SAM. Where was that? Why did you say that before we jump into the second part question?
Yeah. Well, I think in the roadmap, in the road leading to 2018, there has been a lot of things happening in my mind that we should be a premier. We should be the world leader in blockchain technology. And that was when, Ethereum came out, and Ethereum came out at the same time in respect of the project is about 3 to 4 months earlier than us. But they eventually ended up later than us in rolling out the projects. But we started at about the same time, and they had something. They had what we call the smart contract. That was the in thing at the time. Even today, it has the momentum has been always that great with Ethereum in respect of smart contract. But where was NEM? Where was ZEM? What were we doing about it? How are we going to do something that is a world leader? We had Bitcoin as a blockchain transaction engine or transaction platform. We have Ethereum, the smart contract, but NEM is about transactions. No, we can't do that. We need something better. So that was when I said there must be utility of ZEM, right? And that's where Proxima X, that was something that was brewing in my head since early or midway in the project in 2014-15, that we needed maybe storage, because if you look at any application development around you, you need storage. You need storage for the, for the things that you work on. For example, now we have NFT, and NFT, increasingly people are saying, where are we going to put the art piece or a video that is unique? Where are we going to put it in other than putting it on the blockchain, the hash, or the signature of the NFT? But you need to have some visual audio proof of your work, right? Or some of an event of an action. So that's where you really need to have some sort of extra over on what.
And let me stop you there, because that's symbol territory. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we are trying to achieve with symbol. Now the thing is, you decided to go with Proxima doing that. Okay. Why? So what did you bring to Proxima that couldn't have been achieved with NEM?
Yes, we at the time when I was with the foundation, wanted to build it up and increase the core developers. And we had problems finding the right people to suit this, because this was a fast-moving project in the sense that you need to pick up, and the core developers, Jack, Gimmer, and BR, bloody rookie, they've got they've got no time to basically coach anyone to come on board so quickly. So there is a bit of a challenge there, right? The answer is very simple. I said we needed a storage solution that could complement with the NAM blockchain so that we can grow the ecosystem. And then as part of it, streaming comes along with it as well as part of the storage. And there is also the super contract. We call it super contract, basically the smart contract, but we are doing it in a different manner from what Ethereum is doing. And with this, now 3 major elements added into the powerful blockchain solution that Symbol has and NAM has, then we are more holistic, and therefore we can grow as a huge ecosystem, because we would have everything, almost everything that anyone wants. Maybe AI we don't have, but we can grow horizontally. So we needed to work on the blockchain, and we needed to work on it fast, and we couldn't wait for Catapult to be rolled out in its entirety, and therefore we had to fork from an early version of the Catapult to work on this project, and therefore we basically branch off a little bit, created our own consensus mechanism. And that's hard, because you cannot create your own consensus mechanism when the boys out there are bashing out with the Catapult and developing a full-blown Catapult, and having to accommodate what I need in order to expand that. So that's when we really couldn't wait, and we had to do it in using an earlier version and put in the plugins and things like that, And that's also, we needed money to develop that, and I didn't want to ask any money from them. And that's, the reason is I don't want to be seen as taking money from them and then not carrying out a project that may fail, right? And then we don't achieve our objective. And I thought, well, I raise my own money, I'll be totally responsible for it. And that's how we started off Proximax in that direction. And many things that I couldn't achieve in NAM, now I am responsible for it, and that's how we move in that journey. But the assurance when I left NAM was to make sure that Proximax becomes a major player of the NAM ecosystem. Yeah, and somehow along the lines, the condition was not so appealing, but I think now it looks like there's a new dawn in NAM that I think there's a huge possibility of Proximax coming together at a later stage to be part of the NAM ecosystem in this, in a more holistic approach.
Yeah. Yes. Speaking of which, I mean that union, so to speak, will depend on how similar and how different both blockchains are. I mean, yes, the approach is the same, as you say, but technical in the deep core of things. Are they so similar, or they're too different to establish a link, a working link between the two of them?
Okay. The hub, the core of the Proximax system is driven by the blockchain, right? And the blockchain obviously was a fork, was a branch of the original Catapult. Well, not original, I think it was the 3rd or 4th iteration of the Catapult private network, and it didn't have an extensive consensus mechanism for rewards and things like that, right? So, but that was how we branch off. But the underlying fundamentals of the catapult is where we are similar. Well, you know, you're talking about, you know, how the multi-sig, the mosaics and the transaction, and, you know, and the transaction rates is similar. Of course, we branched it off sometime in June of 2018. Now today is 2021. Of course, you have so many other iterations that Catapult had that it is quite dissimilar in terms of the chain, but it doesn't prevent us from merging and converging back into the code of Symbol and move forward with that. So that's what we are intending to do. And that's how we will eventually end up being
compatible.
Compatible. Yeah. What we have, Catapult will have, and what Catapult has, we must have, so that we can form the subchain, right?
Yes. So and that's great that you mentioned the subchain approach. That's that's our current approach. Okay. Well, it's not a secret anymore that NIS1 is going to be a subchain of the Symbol blockchain, so they can work on the same umbrella. Now, would Proxima X follow this trail and become a Symbol subchain too?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what you know, in answering your earlier questions, what are the differences, right? What are the differences that we are so different from Symbol? It's not about different, but I would like to reword it to say that, look, we have plugins, right? We have plugins.
Yeah, that's the way. Yeah.
And it's not different in that sense, but we have plugins, but these plugins, you know, are what we call the service layers, right? And in these service layers, we needed to include the rewards for basically participating in the network. For example, the service layer of the storage. So how do you get rewarded for it? You know, and that's where, you know, is a very difficult. The reward scheme is the most difficult part in putting things together. So we have the reward scheme for the storage. We have the reward scheme for the streaming. We have the reward scheme for the super contract, which is some sort of it is a smart contract, but done in a much more powerful and different manner, right? So with these things, you can define it as different from the NAM or the Symbol blockchain, but these are add-ons more so than differences, because the underlying technology is similar, right? So this is where we become a very good participant in the so-called subchain environment. And moving forward, Jaguar has already announced that we're going back to basic. We want to concentrate on the technology and making it the best blockchain in the world, and we want to leave it to the community to exploit this technology and grow it as an ecosystem. That's the message I'm reading, right? Yeah. And one of the things is we are going to do things like subchains, and in the very early part of just before my departure, you know, in those early days when we were talking about Catapult, we were talking about the ability for Catapult to create some sort of cross-chaining. That was what we call the very early stage of, or primitive stage of saying that is sub-chaining, right? But that was the original concept of cross-chaining, and therefore having multiple networks.
Yeah, and that was the ability of being interoperable. Yes.
Yes, interoperable. And that was the initial, you know, and now that we have gone one big circle and Catapult is launched, and, you know, Jaguar is not forgetting, or, you know, the current team is not forgetting that we still need to achieve the the subchains and interoperable networks that we're going to achieve. So I think this is something that is good and important, because if you see the landscape around you, we have a lot of projects that are now talking about multi-chains of the same mother chain, right? Subchains, they call it, or parallel chains. But whatever it is, whatever terminology name, but you can see that in the end, we are all moving in that direction. Whether it is a whole cohort of us in the blockchain space are moving in the direction because of the Fed or whatever. But I think that is for the greater good of the entire ecosystem of the blockchain space. Because one fine day you see the chains will start talking to one another, right? Yep. Not so soon, but it may be way after I'm gone, because you need to establish the standards and you need to get everyone together, sit down at the same table to come up with a standard. And that's going to be difficult, because everyone will think that my chain is the best. You should follow my standard. And someone has to say otherwise, right?
If I may say, that makes no sense at all, because we cannot make everyone speak the same language. I mean, the beauty of every ecosystem is that everyone speaks their language, but in the end, we can communicate. Okay, we can translate that. Now put it in your terms. If you put it in your terms, it's really, I mean, it's not so complicated to get along, okay, and make this subchain approach to work between Proximex and Symbol. And it's risky to predict something like like a schedule. But how long would that take? I mean, and I know it's risky. Okay.
Yeah, it's risky. Yeah, I'll just I know I just have to take a guess, sort of thing.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We can say that that can be achieved in.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the Symbol core team is now looking at it. Not yet programming, something in the heads of their minds, right? And they are going to put that on paper and to work on it. But I would like to be, we as in Proximex would like to be an active partner in trying to help shape that, But of course, we have our own busy schedule, and I think we don't even have enough resources at the moment to actually try and finish up our own things. But it would be good for us to take cognizance of what Symbol is doing with regards to the subchains, right? And their first focus is NIS1, which is a good, basically a good network to work on, because they have no other chains to work on, right? So at this very moment to work on, and I mean, to be honest with you, we are not ready yet. We need to be able to merge the code, and by merging our code with the latest Symbol code, it'll probably take another 6 to 9 months. It's not that easy, because we need to finish off our things and then basically doing catching up in a lot of areas as well, to make sure that the whole Proximex work. So this is where
that's good news. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, there's a lot that can happen between today and that date, but it's anywhere. It's good that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, looking at
I'm really sorry to interrupt you there. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're running out of time here for our viewers, and I'd really hate to say goodbye, not without asking you something.
Okay.
Because back in the day, I used to read interviews that you gave, or watch any interview that you gave to everywhere, and there was something that you said on behalf of them. you always said this, that the world has to for once recognize that this blockchain, the NEM blockchain, had to be recognized as a world leader. Okay, why do you say that? Can you say that? And it would be great if the new members, this and that, coming from you.
I came into NEM because I came in from the industry, right? And by saying that I came in from the industry, not the blockchain industry, I came in from the mainstream industry. And I had a look around me. At that time, there was no other chain that was doing something that's closest to what I want, right? And then when I met up with the core, and they're very accommodating, and they listened to me, what I think the change should be, and they went ahead to develop the solution that we have today, multi-sig and Mosaic. And that was a very important decision made by all of us, including the core developer, to have gone ahead with that. Because if you look forward now, then, and looking backward now, we have NFT right from the beginning, right? We had multiple assets right from the beginning, before even the Ethereum boys came out with the ERC20, we were there.
Yeah, we pioneered many things, yes.
Yeah, we were there, and now we are even, very much more developed in a lot of things, right? In terms of performance, in terms of features. And if you look at one thing, we, as in Proxima X, using the technology that was being developed by Catapult, we have done something that no other chain has done so far. Okay, and we will remain as the first. We are the first company in the world to have created a mobile payment wallet, not those crypto wallet. I'm talking about mobile payment wallet for fiat. It's a highly regulated environment where there is AML, there's CTF, counterterrorism financing, and all these things must come on board. You must, if you lose your private key, you are able to recover your balances, because in the traditional blockchain industry, you lose your private key to your Bitcoin, you're done, you're finished. But you can't have that in the financial industry. You lose your ATM card, you can get a new card, provided
you should have instances. You should have a safety net for that, yes.
Yeah, safety net. And that is where every chain out there is trying to grapple with. I've been harping on this for the longest time, right? Since NEM days. We can do it since NEM days. So this is where we have a very superior design that allows us to do things like that, and allow us to have a high enough transaction rate so that it is a world leader. As simple as that, right? So this is where, it doesn't end there as well. There's so many other things that we have done. If you have seen the suite of things that we have done in Proxima X, not saying that we're different from NEM, but we have expanded, we have done a lot more things to say that at the end of the day, we are actually exhibiting, right? Manifesting or expounding the greatness of what NEM technology can be done. This is what we are doing, is actually not saying that we are unique to ourselves, Proxima X. We have actually taken on NEM technology to develop what we needed to develop, albeit that if we had stuck on the symbol at a later iteration, I think we would have done much better as well, right? Because we are constrained by the earlier version of Catapult. We have certain things that we can't do that Catapult can do now. So we need, and we really need to merge our code so that we can actually do much more things.
Hopefully we will. Hopefully we will. And of course, this is a great thing that people coming together to make great things, of course, are going to achieve many, many more. I have to say thanks to Long Wang for his time and for being so kind to be here with us. And it's a great final message that he left, but I need to give you even one more final message to our community.
I think with the new direction, it appears to me that we finally coming together, Proxima X and NEM. And my greatest hope at the end of the day is that subchain works, and we're going to be a part of it, for sure. And we hope to be one of the earlier ones, other than NIS1, to be a part of it.
Thanks. Yep. Thank you, Long, for being with us.
Thanks.
Okay, this is all for today in this episode of The NEM Show. My name is Alexis Trujillo. Yep. See you around.
Thank you. Thank you.